Hello everyone, today I'm starting up a series of midweek videos that will focus on more things than just the Zelda series in general, more Nintendo stuff and whatnot. However, today I'm going to be here to create a portal from the Zelda world to the Nintendo world to some of you. So let's begin the video by relating the Zelda series to the Game Awards, so let's go all the way back, to a time long ago. Okay, maybe not that long ago. Back in 2016 we had the Game Awards, and while even I wasn't much of a Nintendo fan back then, much less much of a Zelda fan, I of course knew about the Game Awards. Personally speaking, I think that award shows in general are superfluous in a sense. The difference with the Game Awards is that there is always the chance that each company that has a presence there could do something big. Heading back to the present quickly, I'd say that doing a big announcement this year is as important as ever, since it's been a fairly barren year when it comes to new game announcements. We had a few good ones because of new console generations, and Nintendo had a couple good new announcements. Two particularly good announcements in my opinion were Paper Mario the Origami King and Age of Calamity, but that's probably a topic for another video. The point is that every publisher will want a big announcement this year to really brighten next year up substantially. Back to 2016 though, Breath of the Wild was given a trailer. From the top of my head, I'd like to say that it was one of the first trailers we were given of the game. And wow, it really opened our eyes to how amazing this game really could be. We expected as much from previous gameplay we'd seen, and we'd soon find out that it would be the biggest Zelda experience that we've ever had. So Breath of the Wild was only shown off at the Game Awards once, so what? Well, no it wasn't my friends. In 2017 of course the game won the Game of the Year award. This was especially surprising, but even then, there's still no big connection to the event, it just won an award. Well, that's where we were all wrong. In the same night we were treated with the delight that there were two DLC packs that came after release, the Master Trials and the Champion's Ballad. These were extremely substantial DLCs and were also linked to Breath of the Wild, and had Link on a motorcycle. So does that mean that the Game Awards could house the sequel to Breath of the Wild's trailer? Well, first of all let's probably go back to 2019. E3 2019 was as good an E3 as you could ask for Nintendo. Plenty of game announcements, plenty of Smash reveals including Banjo and Kazooie I'll note, and in general it really marked a good time for Nintendo. But to most of us the biggest hitter in the E3 Direct was the announcement that Breath of the Wild was actually getting a sequel. Many speculated that it was going to get a sequel in the same vein as Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, but nobody knew for sure. We all wanted a reusing assets sequel, but couldn't truly expect it. This still came as quite a shock basically, and an even bigger shock is that we've not heard about the game's development for about a year and a half now. I just kinda think that's insane now. The time has absolutely flown by. Technically we've been given an update on Breath of the Wild, but it wasn't anything that we didn't already know. In the reveal trailer for Age of Calamity, we were told by series producer and ultimate good guy of the century Eiji Aonuma that we were going to have to wait a bit longer for the trailer for Breath of the Wild sequel. Now I don't know about you guys, but when I first heard Aonuma say that, I just had this niggling feeling in the back of my head that we were going to be getting a trailer soon. Then I watched the trailer back again, and I specifically noted down, bit longer. I mean it's literally on my notepad. Now look, okay, I'm not going to spend too long talking about this considering it could have just been a hiccup in the translation of what the man, the myth, the legend was saying, but saying that we'll get more news on the game in a bit means not that long. This could have just been damage control from Aonuma, but I think it's always nice to speculate, especially since he could have easily said something like, oh yeah, you're going to have to wait a while longer, which would have implied that we'd be seeing the game in more time. I don't know. The interesting thing is that the Game Awards are the single biggest gaming event of the year for Nintendo. Considering they didn't end up participating in the Summer Game Fest, they actually ended up announcing games through Twitter and on their YouTube channel this year, as seems to be the normal for this sort of thing when the virus hit. Well, since the Game Awards is a real big gaming event that Nintendo have been to this year, presumably this means that they will want to impress, and of course, we'll want to make a big market push for the Switch before Christmas. This means that they will want to tease a game that will sell out Switches, and while there are a ton of rumours going around at the minute, that we'll get into later, I also think that Breath of the Wild 2 is the perfect game to start selling Switches again. Sure, a sequel to an already made game probably wouldn't make people want to buy a Switch normally, but imagine being a gamer and hearing all the praise for Age of Calamity and Breath of the Wild. And finally, Breath of the Wild 2 could finally push them off the edge of buying a Switch because of the sheer volume of games that just look epic. But you may be thinking, realistically how big of a thing did Nintendo make the Game Awards? I'd say that they make the event kind of a huge thing. We've already talked about 2016 and 17, but how about 2018? Sure, in general their presence at the show wasn't felt for the ages, but they did something previously thought to be impossible. They announced a Smash character from a mostly PlayStation exclusive series. They brought in Joker, and while even now I haven't even given Persona a go yet, I do know that this really got people hyped. Joker is one of the main reasons why Banjo-Kazooie even felt possible as a playable character in Smash. If you let me, I could gush about that reveal for a long time. The lights went out and everything. No one knew it was a Smash reveal. I mean, it was kind of a moment, it was amazing. But then we come back over to the 2019 Game Awards. Nintendo hyped up the event so much last year, and then they came out with near to nothing. I remember sitting there last year at 4 AM watching Zeltik's stream of the Game Awards, and Breath of the Wild 2 was nowhere to be seen. I know I sound fairly entitled right now, but it seems preposterous that we won't hear about the game for 2 years. No, I think that now is the perfect time to show us a trailer, get us hyped up, and have the entirety of 2021 be a year to remember for Zelda fans, especially with it being Zelda's 35th anniversary. I would like to quickly discuss some rumours in games that could well be in the Game Awards instead of Breath of the Wild 2. Not that many of them though, as I think most of these don't need much of a description. Well, first of all, I'd like to talk about a possible Zelda 35th anniversary. I've heard many people think that they would most definitely do a 35th anniversary collection close to the likes of the Mario's 35th collection. You know, where they end up doing some ports of Zelda games. Many think it'll be a collection of Wind Waker, Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. Wind Waker had a HD remaster, Twilight Princess had a HD remaster, and Skyward Sword hasn't had a remaster, but I think if they just upscaled the original graphics, much like they did with Mario Galaxy, then it would be the perfect candidate. So do I really think that we could see that at the Game Awards, or really even at all? Well, while I would truly never count the idea down and out for the count, I don't think that we'll see this. Especially not so soon after the Mario collection. Nintendo loves Mario, that's the reason why they made that collection. While I do think that Nintendo likes Zelda, I don't think it's anywhere near the amount of love that Nintendo gives Mario. So unfortunately I don't think we'll see the collection. I mean, come on guys, the Zelda team are working on the next mainline Zelda game. While we don't know what the Mario developers were doing or are doing during the release of the collection. The next rumour to talk about is one of the biggest going around at the minute, a true Pokemon Gen 4 remake. For anyone less seasoned to the Pokemon scene, that is Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. And these are regarded as a couple of the best games in the series, and I think that we could get these remakes, but I don't think they'll be announced at the Game Awards. I just can't see them doing that, especially since I think the Gen 4 remake would come out around November time next year, so it'd be more like an E3 thing if the game does come out. To conclude, let me truly answer the question presented in the title. Compared to literally any other Nintendo title, there is more of a chance that we'll see Breath of the Wild 2 this year than ever. Perhaps it will come with yet another giant Smash reveal, but I guess we'll have to see. So tell me in the comments, do you think that we'll get a trailer for Breath of the Wild 2 at the Game Awards on December 10th? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please do subscribe and like the video. I'm trying to make a small push for 600 subs by the end of the year, so thank you in advance if you do subscribe. Thank you so much to these people on screen. If you'd like to join them, then please do consider looking at the link to my Patreon in the description and pledging some money if you can and of course want to. As I said, the link's in the description along with my other social medias. My Twitch is down there and I'll be streaming the Game Awards in wait for Breath of the Wild. So go and follow me there. Enough of all that. Thank you for watching, stay safe and I'll see you on Sunday.